Hey, it's Rick here, and you know, one of my favorite iPhone 4 cases is the Speck Candy Shell. This is the Moonsicle White, and I like this one because it doesn't show as many of the scratches as some of the other colors do. A few days ago, this is what came in the mail. It looks like another Moonsicle White candy shell, but there is a difference. Check this out. There is a line here, and the reason for that is because this is the new Candy Shell Flip. So let's take a look at this up close, and I'll explain what some of the differences are between the Flip and the regular candy shell. So it's no secret the candy shell is one of my favorite cases for the iPhone 4, but if there was a downfall, the only thing that I mentioned was that because it gives you such a great level of protection, it's a little thick in this area, and so it would require a dock extender to actually get it to seat in with a lot of your iPhone accessories or your docks. That issue is resolved with the Speck Candy Shell Flip that I'm going to show you here today. This is the packaging it comes in. No screen protectors or anything like that are included with this. It's standard Speck packaging. But as you can see, here's the Flip. And if we take a look at this, this is a little bit of a grippy, kind of a rubbery material. It doesn't prevent you from sliding it in and out of your pocket by any means. And as you take a look at that up close, you can kind of see what that looks like. Other than that, the case is identical. So we've got the Flip on the bottom here, and you've got the original candy shell and Moonsicle White on the top. The buttons are just as tactile and responsive as the original candy shell. All the cutouts are identical. Everything is the same, including the inside. The only difference is that Flip. Now it is a little bit easier to take off, and I'll show you that in just a moment here, but the way that you get the case on is just like your original Speck candy shell. You just pop it in place just like that. And again, this bottom area flips. So when you're ready to dock it with something, all you need to do is pull a little bit on it, and there you go. And you can dock it with whatever you've got. Now, I will say this, all of my accessories work with this except for one. I do have a Sony clock radio, and the reason that doesn't work is because the dock right behind it is a speaker like this. And so this area that protrudes out, it kind of pushes against the speaker and doesn't allow me to dock. But it's not a big deal. I have a SendStation dock extender, so it works with that just fine. Close it up, you just snap it in place. So again, everything is the same as the original candy shell with the exception of the Flip. One of the things that I will show you up close, because it flips, there's a little gap, and you can see that right there, and slight gap there. And then also right here. These are things that can't be helped, of course. I mean, when you add a flip mechanism to the case, you're not going to get around something like that. I don't think it's a big concern at all, because once in a while, all you do is flip it open like this, make sure there's no grime or dirt or anything in there, clean it out, and then close it back up. The other thing that it does, and again, I don't think this is a big deal, but because of the flip mechanism, and you've got that little gap right there, this area here, you can see, you can pull and it'll come away just ever so slightly. Again, that's not something that when you put in your pocket it's going to pull away, but I show it for you just for consistency's sake and to be real thorough with the review. And then to get the case off, it's actually a little bit easier to get this off because of that flip mechanism than the original Speck candy shell. So it's kind of the same idea here. You just push down on one end, and then what's going to happen, because you've got that flip mechanism here, you can just pull that end across and then out it comes. So it's really actually quite easy to get off in comparison to the original candy shell. So that is the Speck Candy Shell Flip. This is Moonsicle White. It is available now on speckproducts.com. If you guys have questions, please let me know.